Hello everybody, this is Pastor Green. We're doing another Bible study, 1 Samuel chapter 7. If you'd like me to come speak at your church or if you have any questions, you can email me at godsohman@gmail.com, or you can just comment below your question. So we're going to start with 1 Samuel 7 verse 1. And the men of this big word came and fetched up the ark of the Lord and brought it to the house of Abinadab in the hills, sanctified Eleazar the son to keep the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass while the ark abode in this big word, that the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after the Lord. So if you remember on this chart here, this is where we're at right here. You can follow the line. This is where we're at in the story right now. And Samuel spoke to all the house of Israel, saying, if you do return the Lord with all the heart, and put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth from among you, and prepare your hearts to the Lord, and serve him only, and he will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines. And the children of Israel did put away Balaam and Ashtaroth, and serve the Lord only. And I've talked before about Balaam and the god, but we're going to really quickly talk about Ashtaroth. So Ashtaroth says it's the demonology, is the great duke of hell in the first hierarchy of Beelzebub and Lucifer, and he's part of the evil trinity. He's a male figure mostly named after the Near Eastern goddess Ashtari. And if you look at this person's portrayal, he always has this thing on his head with these different points of stars, or they call it the rays of the sun gods. And you can see this person right here dressed up as Asheroth. And that's also where the Starbucks got his logo from. So one of the largest statues of the pagan god Asheroth is here in America. You can see the points on top of the head, and you can see the points on the top of the Statue of Liberty's head as well. It's a very striking resemblance. It was made by a French guy, and they gave it to us. And if you look at the top of the bottom of the Statue of Liberty, you can see that there's chains on it. But it's sitting right in America, this huge statue called a light bearer. Well, Ashtaroth is also the light bearer as well. Jeremiah 19 says, they have built also the high places of Baal to burn their sons with fire, or burn offerings into Baal, which I commanded not or spoke it, neither came to the mind. Baal was very often used to sacrifice children by fire. Jeremiah 32. And they built the high places of Baal, which were in the valley of the sons of Hedom, which caused the sons of their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech, which I commanded them not, neither came out of my mind that they should this abomination to cause Judah to sin. Leviticus 20. Again, thou shalt call the children of Israel, whosoever be in the children of Israel, or in the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that give any seed to Molech, he shall certainly be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. And I will set my face against that man, and I will cut him off from among his people, because he has given his seed to Molech, to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name. If the people of the land do in any ways hide their eyes from the man, when they giveth his seed to Molech, and kill him not. And they will set my face against the man and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that go whoring after him will commit whoredom with Molech from among the people. Molech and Baal were basically the same type of god. You would sacrifice your babies to this god with using fire. Jeremiah 19 says, they built also the high places of Baal to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings into Baal, which I commanded not or spoke it, neither came to their minds. The question is really, did Canaanites really sacrifice their children to this god and then burn their children to death? Well, they've actually found a place called Tophet, which is the Hebrew word for the place of child sacrifice near Jerusalem in Jeremiah 7:31. In time, many more Tophet cemeteries were discovered, and the largest one contained approximately 20,000 infants in urns. And you can see here one of the urns. This is the fact that animals were buried there along with human infants seemed to suggest that it was not a normal cemetery for children. One urn contained the remains of an animal and had an inscription indicating this animal was a substitute. This supports the archaeologist's conclusion that the Tophet contained the remains of sacrificial victims who had been burned to death by the Bible, as the Bible and the Greeks and Romans all claimed. Yet some skeptics remained. Perhaps the children had been burned after they had died of natural causes. This article talks about Aztec culture. It says archaeologists have found the remains of 42 children. It's alleged that these remains were sacrificed to Tolak in the offerings of the Great Pyramid of Tenochtitlan and the Aztecs in pre-Columbian Mexico. In every case, the 42 children, mostly males, aged around 6, were suffering from serious cavities, abscess of bone, infections that would be painful enough to make them cry continuously. This person required the tears of the young, so the tears would wet the earth. As a result, the children did not cry. The priest would sometimes tear off the children's nails before the ritual sacrifice. And human sacrifice was an everyday activity, and women and children were not exempt. According to this person, the Aztecs believed that the sacrifices were not given to Tolek, the rain would not come, and their crops would not grow. And this is a little picture here. You can see the water with the babies on the water down the bottom there. In Incan culture, sacrificing the children was a ritual, and their frozen corpses had been discovered on the South American mountaintops. The first of these corpses was a female child who had died from a blow to the skull. It was discovered in 1995. Other methods of sacrifice included strangulation and simply leaving the children who had been given an intoxicating drink to lose consciousness in the extreme cold and low oxygen conditions of the mountaintops to die of hypothermia. In Mayan culture, people believed that the supernatural beings had power over their lives. And this reason that child sacrifice occurred, the sacrifices were essentially to satisfy the supernatural beings. It was done through this thing called kikek, which is an exchange or substitution of something. Through kikek, infants would substitute more powerful humans, and it was thought the supernatural beings would consume the souls of more powerful human and infants, and substituted in order to prevent that. And this person suggests that Democrats may worship pagan gods Molech, who allow for child sacrifices, and that was in 2019. 1 Samuel 7:3. And Samuel spoke to all the house of Israel, saying, If you do return to the Lord with all your hearts, and put away the strange gods and Ashereth from among you, and prepare your hearts to the Lord, and serve them only, and he will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines. Then the children of Israel did put away Balaam and Asheroth, and served the Lord only. And Samuel said, Gather all Israel to Memphis, and I will pray you to the Lord. And they gathered together to Memphis, and drew water, and poured it out before the Lord, and fasted on that day, and said there, We have sinned against the Lord. And Samuel judged the children of Israel in Memphis. So you can see now we're up here. So there was the 5 offerings that Leviticus 7 we had to do. A burnt offering, a meal offering, a peace offering, a sin offering, a trespass offering. And the priest had to know exactly what type of offering would be appropriate for whatever the person was coming in for. So the question is, what is a sin offering? A sin offering was a sacrifice made to the Mosaic law, which provided atonement for sin. The Hebrew phrase for sin offering literally means a fault offering. The sin offering was made for the sins committed in ignorance or unintentional sins. And the ritualistic method of the sin offering and the animals to be offered very dependent on the status of the sinner. For example, a high priest who sinned unintentionally would offer a young bull. A king or prince would offer a young male goat. People in the private sector would sacrifice a young female goat or a lamb, unless they were too poor, which in case they were only required to have 2 turtle doves or pigeons. And a lawyer needs to know the different types of laws to tell the clients what they need to do. So the priest also would be the same way. They have to know the exact type of thing that was wrong to offer the proper sacrifice. A referee has to know the different rules of the game to tell the players what they need to do. According to football, there's 17 different rules that people have to follow. There's 17 rules of soccer as well. And soccer has 17 laws or rules in which the game is played. Most of these laws are easy to understand, and the laws are designed to make soccer fun, safe, and fun for all participants. Congress has enacted approximately 200 to 600 statutes during each of its 115 biennial terms. That's more than 30,000 statutes that have been enacted since 1789. You know, it's funny because some different states have bizarre laws that you probably never heard of. Here's a couple of Alabama's laws. So number 1, bear wrestling is prohibited. Can't wrestle a bear. In Mobile, Alabama, it's against the law to throw confetti or spray silly string. In Mobile, Alabama, it's illegal to spit or throw fruit skins on a sidewalk. In Montgomery, it's illegal to open an umbrella on the street because it might scare the horses. Dominoes may not be played on Sunday. It's illegal to wear fake mustaches that may cause laughter in church. In Lee County, it's illegal to sell peanuts after sundown on Wednesday. In Mobile, it's illegal to howl. It's unlawful to howl at ladies inside city limits. It's illegal to throw salt on railroad tracks. It's illegal to dress up as a priest on Halloween. Incestuous marriages are considered legitimate. It's illegal for a driver to be blindfolded while driving a vehicle. And it's illegal to have an ice cream cone in your back pocket. You know, what's the difference between the ceremonial law, the moral law, and the judicial law of the Old Testament? You know, the priest would know what the laws of God would be and be able to tell the people what offering to bring if they broke one of God's laws. So they'd have all these different ideas of what type of sacrifice you would need to enact some type of a forgiveness. Galatians 2 says, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but the faith of Jesus Christ, even if we believed in Christ, that we might be justified by the faith of Christ, and not by the works of the law, for the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. Galatians 3 says, for as many are the works of the law under the curse, for it is written, cursed is every one that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do to them. But no man is justified by the law in the sight of God, and it's evident, for they shall live by faith. And the law is not of faith, but the man shall do with them to save the life of them. Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it is written, cursed is every one that hangeth on a tree. Exodus 19 says, and Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all the words which the Lord commanded them. And all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord hath spoken we will do. And Moses returned to the words of the people and to the Lord. James 2 says, for ye fulfilled the royal law according to the scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Ye do well. But if you have respect for persons, yet commit sin, you are convinced of the law's transgressors. For whosoever shall keep the whole law, yet offend one point, is guilty of it all. Ephesians 2 says, by grace you are saved through faith, and not of yourselves, but the gift of God, not by works, lest any man should boast. So back to 1 Samuel 7. When the Philistines heard that the children of Israel were gathered together at Mizpah, the Lord of the Philistines went up against Israel. When the children of Israel heard it, they were afraid of the Philistines. And the children of Israel said to Samuel, cease not to cry to the Lord our God for us, for he will save us out of the land of the Philistines. And Samuel took a suckling lamb and offered it, a burnt offering holy to the Lord. And Samuel cried to the Lord for Israel, and the Lord heard him. And Samuel was offered up the burnt offering, and the Philistines grew near to the battle against Israel. But the Lord thundered with a great thunder that day upon the Philistines, and discomforted them, and they were smitten before Israel. And the men of Israel went out to Mizpah, and pursued the Philistines, and smote them until they came under Bethkar. Then Samuel took a stone, and set it between Mizpah and Shen, and he called the name Ebenezer, saying, hereunto has the Lord helped us. So Ebenezer is this big rock, and people know don't cross that big rock. So the Philistines were subdued, and they came no more to the coast of Israel. And the hand of the Lord was against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. And the cities which the Philistines had taken from Israel were restored to Israel, from Ekron even to Gath. And the coastlines thereof did Israel gather out of the hands of the Philistines. And there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. And Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life. And he went from year to year and circuited to Bethel and Gilgal and Mizpah, and judged Israel in those places. And he returned was for Ramoth, for there was a house, and they judged Israel, and they built an altar unto the Lord. Well, guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, you can just comment below. If you want to talk to me personally, you can send me an email. I'm going to put a couple links on the screen. The bottom right is going to be the 1 Samuel Bible study. The top left is going to be the Genesis Bible study, and then the bottom left is going to be a video YouTube things you're going to like. I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't done so yet, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have yourself a great day.